Ladies and gentlemen, it is showtime. Please enjoy the show.
It's the corner where the trees at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you made it here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We about to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfare.
This season, Chief Concerns is teaming up with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, to bring even more excitement to Chiefs football. The Chiefs are a 1.5-point favorite against the Eagles this weekend, and FanDuel has all the action covered. Whether it's betting on Mahomes' passing yards, Kelsey's receptions, or locking in a same-game parlay, FanDuel makes it easy with fast payouts and tons of ways to win. And don't forget, tune in every Friday to Chief Concerns for our best 5-leg same-game parlay of the week, along with JD's 10 keys to victory to get you ready for game day. So download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today and make every snap count. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Chief Concerns. Marcus Dash right there is our guy, former Chiefs tight end Jason Dunn. JD, how you doing, baby? Super Bowl rematch week, baby.
I'm doing fine, man. I'm doing fine. Yeah, Super Bowl rematch this week, huh? So, listen, these are two different teams than it was from last year in the Super Bowl. I know everybody looks at it as a Super Bowl matchup. You know what? This is another game. This is what this is, okay? This is game number 2 for us. We don't want to make it more than what it is, okay? It's early on in the season. You know, this could go either way with teams later on. And so this is just a good thing for the establishment. I don't know as far as, you know, once we beat the Eagles, you know, they still going to be like, hey, man, we still hold the trophy up. So go ahead and take this victory if you want to. It ain't going to mean nothing, right? And so sometimes people get into these like little moral victories and whatnot. And I get it. I do. I get it. You know what? None of that matters. And it all matters about who wins the whole thing. That's what it's going to be, Marcus. But this is going to be a great match for us, obviously, because after the first week, the little debacle that we had down in Brazil didn't work out the way that we wanted it to. And so there could be many factors why this happened. Obviously, I always, will put it to her, the first game of the season is always you want to work out the kinks. You got blind spots you didn't quite know that were there. And so what you do is you regroup and you come back. But the greatest thing about this game, Marcus, the greatest thing about this game, and it's in Arrowhead Stadium. It's home, baby.
The big factor.
In the house. Come on. It is in the house. So guys got to be prepared to get ready for this because we bringing it home. We bringing it home. We are not on the road. We are at GEHA Arrowhead Stadium is where this is. So that changes.
Is there something specific about, like, obviously home field advantage, Arrowhead's one of the best home field advantages. It's not the best. But there's something different about the season opener, the home opener versus just a regular week 6 game at Arrowhead. Is there something different and special about that home opener game?
Mm-hmm. It is. No doubt about it. I mean, your juices are flowing so much because it's in front of your home crowd. It's almost like you have a fight and it's right out in front of your house. Okay, the whole neighborhood comes out. And somebody comes from outside the neighborhood trying to rip your throat out. Okay, take a couple of dukes. And the thing is, you're standing there for the whole neighborhood. You're standing right there in front of your home. And you just can't get beat at home. I don't care where you're at. If this is your home field, you bet not take an L. So that's why it's so important. The air of just having the first home game, there's nothing like it. It just isn't. So it's going to be loud. It's nice and warm. Stadium is going to be packed. Boys, I know how those feel. I know exactly how those things feel. So we'll say Craig and Debo. That's exactly what it is. That's what we're going to make it out to be, baby. So, but with that being said, Marcus, let me say what's up to everybody that's in the chat. This thing is popping right now. I see some more people coming in. We got a great show for everybody tonight. And we'll kind of get into it because I want to talk a little bit about our guest that we have on here. Brian Hong, how you doing? Delmonte Green Beans, Optimistic James is here. Jason Tarbox, Will is in the house. Greg Rose, Witchy Hall, Hippie Cypriot, Who else we got on here? Linda Hunter. Let me see. Lyle Smith, Chiefs fan, 1969. We're gonna be. It's jumping. This is gonna be jumping. And so the thing is, everybody's talking about what happened last week, and that's kind of like the contention. Oh, what is the team gonna look like? How is it gonna be? You know, I heard some other people. The Chiefs ain't gonna stand a chance. But last I remember, Marcus, Eagles almost got beat up there in Lincoln Field.
Very shaky. Very shaky.
Yeah. Oh, it 3 drops from CD Lamb is what helped seal the win.
Yeah.
Other than that, man, they would have walked up out of there. Okay, they'd have came up out of Philly with a dub. But hey, it's what football is. That's how it works. So it's a great matchup this week. We understand they're a very talented team, offensively, defensively. Them are the reigning champs of this past year. So we're gonna have a hands full, man. But ain't nothing that we can't handle. There's nothing that we can't handle. So
you mentioned the JD, and if you guys saw the title, if you guys saw the thumbnail, we have a nice preview show. Last week we had Donnie Edwards come in to help us preview Chargers and Chiefs. This week we got a special guest coming on here to help us preview Eagles and Chiefs. JD, you go back with this guy, this coach here. He was a teammate of yours back then, and now he's a coach. Kind of talk to us about the history of you and our special guest tonight.
Oh man, the history of me and this guest. I tell you what, this is my brother. This is who this is. Okay, when we both was young whippersnappers at the EKU. Okay, this young guy came in from LaGrange, Georgia, wide receiver, long, looked pretty, had a towel all the way down to the ground. Okay, that's how he was playing. He came in looking all sharp, dazzled, and I was just like, man, who is this guy right here? So he's a guy that I played with for a long time at EKU, all my years there, and we both came into the league together, 96. And so he was one of the best receivers to come through EKU's history. There wasn't a ball that he couldn't catch. It wasn't a route that he could not run. And so we both got up there to Philadelphia in 96. And so Dialleo Burks is the guy that I'm speaking of right here. But the prestige and the history that he's gotten, Philadelphia Eagles, and I'm talking about this is my bro. I'm telling you, this is my dude, full in effect, right? This is family. This is family here. So this is a great treat. Played for the Cowboys, played for the Panthers. He actually played him and Matt Nagy played together in the Reno football. And he went on and he came in as part of the staff with the what is that? The
AFL?
No, the AFL, yeah. But I'm talking about he came on the staff with Matt Nagy and those guys for 2 years. He was up there during the summer, and also too he was there with the Tennessee Titans as well.
Oh, so Chicago.
Chicago, yes. Yeah, so he's the head coach right now in Warner University. They're actually playing up here in Kentucky, going against the Georgetown Tigers this weekend. So I'm gonna be seeing my brother real soon, not just for the night, man, but I'm gonna be able to put my arms around my brother right here. And I'm telling you, man, we used to call him Dr. Dig. When you have the in route, nobody can run a route like this guy right here. And I'm telling you, man, solid brother. I talk to him practically every single day, in text messages and whatnot. We got a tight-knit group of guys. And so this is we experienced this life in the NFL together. Okay. So without further ado, I would like to introduce to you my brother, my guy, Mr. Everything, Dr. Dig himself, head coach of Warner University, Dialleo Burks.
What's going on, Coach?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
We doing well, D. What's up, D-Lo? What's happening?
Man, hey, when I finally make it to the Hall of Fame, I don't know when that's gonna be, man. I need you to bring me out, man. That was great right there. That was great.
Hey, look, you know I got you. You already know it. And D, look, I had probably another 2 pages to talk about you, man. I was just like, man, at some point we got to cut it short, man. We got to get the show started.
Hey,
so,
man, let me tell you, when you've been on the journey that I've been on, you know, we've always grinded for what we've gotten. You tend to forget that stuff, you know, and you really don't look at it because you're always focused on moving forward, you know, and gaining certain things. So very rarely do I look back and just look at the things that I've accomplished. You know, I always pick certain things out, but when you want to look at the whole list of things, you know, that's what God put me here for, is to, you know, maximize who I am and what he birthed in my body. So I thank you, man, for that.
Man, look, everything you know I said, man, was true. You know, and you're right. You know, we have been immensely blessed. God has put you in a position, but I tell you what, man, these are things that you've worked hard to achieve. And you know me, I always say this, and you know, we have this conversation, you know, often about, you know, certain guys that need to be playing in NFL coaching. I mean, you're head coach of a university right now. And as we see some of the, you know, former players, you know, we talked about, obviously, you know, Mike Vick, you know, those guys that are coming out here, man, you right there in that conversation. And for you, who's been an athletic director, high school football coach, now coach of a university, I mean, I'm telling you, brother, man, your cachet of your body of work matches anybody's. And so you have the credentials to be in the NFL. I know you've been 2 years with the Bears and 1 year with the Tennessee Titans. Both of them jokers should have went ahead and just signed you. I know you had other things you had to do, but they should have went ahead and got you on through there, man. Seriously.
Yeah.
So,
you know, in God's time, you know, he don't make mistakes. And
no, he don't.
You know, always look at those opportunities as learning lessons. And so it's just like you're in training camp preparing. You know, in my journey, hey, some camps I got cut, some camps I made the team. And so some seasons I set the bench, some seasons I started. So I always look at it from that point of view, you know, and just be the best that I can be. And, you know, I know you mentioned Nagy, and he actually, you know, gave me an opportunity to really, you know, deep dive into, you know, what it is to be an NFL coach. But he told me this because, you know, I often call him, you know, and just wish him good luck for the game. He said, just be phenomenal where you are. You know, that's the thing. He said, you never know when you're going to get that call. He said, but just be phenomenal where you are. And that always stuck with me. So that's my mindset, just being phenomenal here at Warner University with these young men and these young women, you know, pouring into them on things that, you know, me and you kind of missed out on at EKU. But we did have luxurious careers.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, man, those are words of wisdom, brother. They are words of wisdom. And the kids are better off for it, having you there, just really leading them. You are a leader amongst men. You know, you've always been that type of guy, always. So, you know how we do, man. We always, and what people don't know about you is, I'm gonna tell you, but D-Lo was like one of the comedians on the. But hey, somebody asked me on the other show, D. He was like, "Man, who's one of the funniest guys you played with?" I was like, "Well, like ever?" He was like, "Not with the Chiefs." I was like, "Oh boy, I'm telling you." They said ever, man, I was going to bring out a whole list of guys, a whole list of them. Now, I tell you what, man, you've been right up there in the front of a D, you know, so.
Have fun, man. You know, it's funny you say that, you know, because I've been trying to get my guys to, you know, just have fun with the game. You know, we're gonna have ups and we're gonna have downs. But man, I try to look at everything with a positive mindset. And if you're gonna be around me, you gotta have fun. You know, you got to have fun. And so I just, you know, went out every day. I'm gonna make a joke out of any and everything. That's just what it is. But you know, when you look, you want your spirit free. You know, and I heard you live longer if you laugh. So I'm gonna, like I say, just maximize every day, man. I'm gonna have fun. I am, and you know, you better not slip around us. You know that. Please do not slip up. Or yes, we're gonna get you.
That's right, man. That's what we do, man. That's what we do, man. And you know, we're having this discussion, but people don't really understand, man, like our journey together. You know, EKU. So in college, you know, a lot of these schools, sometimes the football players don't live together. We had OD in the dorm. I'm talking about, guys living together. I mean, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And so that carried on, man, from college, to the NFL. We had a lot of guys, man, from EKU put a lot of wins up. We came from an organization, man, that was all about winning. We won. We was one of the winningest programs in 1AA. Won the OVC a number of years we were there. I think 4 out of the 5 years. I think when we look at it, I think you didn't redshirt, so I had redshirted, and so that's what we were about. That's who we were, and our motto was it's a matter of pride. So we took that pride up there to Philadelphia, to the Eagles. That's what we did, and so we're gonna get into some of that, man, as far as talking about this team in Philadelphia right now. But really kind of having Ray Rose as our head coach at the time. I told him a little bit about our discussion that, during the summer, us taking a little bit of our bad habits, I want to say, maybe up there to Philly. At least, for me, I think you're a little bit more more polished, being in that regard of maturity than me. But we had a great time, baby. We had an absolute phenomenal time.
Yeah, to the point where it got me up out of there. But just being honest, EKU really prepared us for football. With the mindset that when you come there, you're coming there to get a ring. You're not coming there to get T-shirts. You're not coming there to get sweatsuits and look good. You was gonna roll up your sleeves and you was gonna go to work. And so we wanted that other stuff, but Coach Kidd would always say, hey, we're going after the ring. Do you want the ring or do you want the sweatsuit? And we're like, we want both, Coach, if we can get them. But, he instilled that in us, the staff, instilled that in us, and it was just a winning mindset. That's what it was. And so when I went to Philly, I understood how to be a football player very well. But what I did not understand was how to be a professional. And so, through those pressures, because you was a second round pick, so I think you was pretty safe, as on a roster. I was a street free agent, and so you don't hear that term thrown around a lot. A street free agent, most people say undrafted free agent. No, I'm gonna go all the way to say no. I wasn't drafted. I was off the street, which means they just called me in for a workout. They liked what they saw, and they say, you know what? Hey, come on to camp. And so I went to camp with 16 receivers in the room, never saw the playbook, never even been coached by the coach before, didn't know who the coach was. And at the end of training camp, I was one of the 6 that made it out of the room. And so that just lit a fire up under me where there's no excuses. Nobody's going to give you anything. You got to work for everything that you earn. And so I kind of, just being in that atmosphere with some of the greatest players, Irvin Fry, Ricky Waters, Charlie Garner, Rodney Peete, guys that I often, think about, Chris T. Jones, those guys, man, it was like a little guy from Eastern Kentucky University, running back you, not wide receiver you. And so, right. I kind of felt that, I had arrived a little bit. And so, my purpose kind of got away from me. It got away from me. I just got married. And so trying to juggle a new wife with a professional lifestyle, it all crumbled. It all crumbled because I wasn't equipped or built. I was built, but I wasn't equipped mentally to handle it. And so that's why I was released. And John Gruden, I love him to death. That's my guy there. He let me know how he felt about me leaving because he was one of the main reasons why I was there. But he said, you'll figure it out, son. And that was it. And he walked off in his John Gruden voice, which had some more words to it. But when I got back to LaGrange, I figured it out. And so I was one of the ones that was able to recover. And so that's when, I went overseas in the NFL Europe League and played 2 seasons, won a World Bowl over there, came back to the Carolina Panthers for 3 seasons, played there. I went to the XFL with the Orlando Rage before going to camp with the Raiders. And so from there, that's when my journey started in the Arena League with the Desperados under Jerry Jones, and then the Georgia Force with Arthur Blank. So all of that was trying to get back into the league, but ended up loving my career there. And then afterwards, got into coaching. So I loved it, man. Like I said, I played a lot of football, a lot of places, and learned a lot of lessons. But EKU will always be something special.
That's right. That's right. Man, just talking about your journey in itself, I don't think people realize like what that grind really means. And you're right. Sometimes you're somewhat protected. You got a longer leash for a guy that is drafted. They put in a lot of stock and invested into you. And for guys that's coming in, they don't have to keep you. We had a couple of guys, man, on the Chiefs. Jason Brownlee, Tyquan Thornton, who were draft picks, but Brownlee was a guy. Nico Remigio is another guy that's on the squad. We've had two of our top wide receivers go down, as you know, and Rashid Rice, who's serving a suspension, and then Xavier Worthy, who just got hurt. But I say these young guys who the Chiefs decided to keep, and they don't keep you because you look good or they like your name. They keep you because you're talented, right? Yeah. Like you said, you went through 16 guys to get on a team. When I'm talking about talented wide receivers, and you named a lot of them. Mark Say, we had to talk about it. Mark Ingram, like you said, Irvin Fry, Chris T. Jones, Freddie
Solomon.
Solomon. Philip Riley. Philip Riley was there.
Who was drafted 7th round. Surely was.
Yeah. And you was able to come out, all of that. From that dust, you was able to come through. And because of your talent, it spoke volume, and also to your character, who you was. And they seen that too. So, Gruden's, he's when I'm talking about having an eye for talent, we could probably take that to the bank, right?
Yeah.
So,
I remember the workout. The workout. I had just gotten back from my honeymoon because I got the call the day before the wedding. What? That's when I got the call to come and work out. You guys were in the tuxedo shop and y'all was worrying me to death. And I was at my wit's end. My wife called and was like, hey, we just got a call from somebody from the Philadelphia Eagles named John Wooten. And I'm like, you know what? The draft had passed. You had been to, rookie mini camp and there. So I had my mind set on graduating from EKU and working at Foot Locker. That was my dream at that point because months had went by. But when that phone call came, it was like, man, that light switch came on. And I walked down the aisle, but man, I'm thinking NFL. I love you, but I'm thinking NFL. And during the honeymoon, I'm working out. But that was it. And when I got to that bubble, I'll never forget. I had my Reebok jacket on. I had the Walkman with the cushion on the ears, with the wire coming down.
Yeah.
And I'm just playing my music, and they say, we'll get ready in 5 minutes. That's what they gave us, 5 minutes. It was me and 2 other guys that worked out. And I ran 4 routes, and I remember John Gruden standing over top of me when I ran a comeback. Bobby Horn was the quarterback from Ohio State.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, B. Horn. B. Horn was the QB. And when I posted that thing, he said, I just want you to run 15 and come back. I'm like, no, man, let me show you how we do it down there. And I put that post route to that comeback. And he looked at me and he said, what in the hell are they doing down there in Eastern Kentucky? I said, Coach, I don't know. I said, Coach, I don't know what they're doing, but I'm trying to be with you.
Right.
I'm trying to be with you. And that was it. That was it. I caught 2 balls. And so afterwards, all I saw him do was look over to another guy and just nod his head. Mm-hmm. And I saw that guy go to the other 2 guys and said, hey, go take a shower. We're going to get your travel arrangements ready. And so I'm looking like, do I need to go with them? And he was like, no, you probably don't want to go with them now. And so
you're going out of there if you go with them.
Yeah, they going to first class.
Right.
I'm trying to go to the classroom.
Right.
But that's when he said, we're going to keep you. He said, we're going to keep you and bring you to one of the mini camps. And I didn't even practice my first week at mini camp because I'm wearing a heart monitor around. Yep. Never had a problem at all. My first week, I'm wearing a heart monitor around. I'm like, am I nervous or what? Yeah. But dream had come true. at that point. And from that point, it was just all about, hey, I am not going back to LaGrange, Georgia without making a squad, because from LaGrange, we had at that time 17 guys from our high school that played in the pros. So it was, if you played football and you came from LaGrange, that was the ceiling there. Hey, you go to the league. Walter Harris came out with me. He was a first-round draft pick for the Chicago Bears.
Chicago Bears,
yep.
Right.
We graduated together. Tyrone Poole came out 2 years before me, 3 years before me. Marty Carter, Tony Stargell, so Buster Owens, who went to Georgia. So, man, that's what we do. So I'm like, I am not going home. That was so. I had no choice.
Yeah. Hey, man, look, and some people they just take it up on themselves to do it, man. And like you said, you kept grinding. That's the respect of it. But that's who you were. That's who you were. And them seeing you catching 2 balls, they didn't watch the film. They just wanted to make sure that what they saw on film was true. That was it. Yeah. Is he as advertised, or is this some type of gamemanship with the film work down at EKU? Are they trying to make him look faster? But the two catches you had, that was enough. Yeah. Like you said, you got that nod. That's all you needed. And that's that foot in the door, baby. That was a foot in the door, D.
Yeah, because the pro day, we sitting in the room, Marcus, listen to this. We're sitting in the room. This joker comes by the room. We're in there playing cards. He comes by the room and say, guys, hey, I need y'all to pray for me. I'm getting ready to go have my pro day. I'm like, pro day? I'm like, what do you mean pro day? He said, well, I got all the scouts here to watch me. Well, what scouts? NFL? He said, yeah. I say, man, you ain't leaving me. You're not. I went and put myself in the workout. I ran a 4.5340. I never forget 4.53. We ran in the Coliseum. And I saw a little guy with a Philadelphia Eagles shirt on. He just looked at me. He just kept watching me. And so we transitioned to the stadium. I ran a shuttle and the L drill. But the L drill, they made me run it 6 times. And during this time, I'm running it. They saying everything to me under the sun. Don't touch the cones. I mean, they talking to me really bad.
Yeah.
And so afterwards, McDaniels, that's his name, McDaniels, walk over there, and he said, how you feeling? I said, I don't know. The way y'all was talking to me, I was like, I think it's over. He said, no. He said, we could not believe the time that you ran. That's what he said. Could not believe the time that you ran in that drill, and we had to make sure it was legit.
Yeah.
And so after that, I ran about 5 routes, did not catch one ball in the workout because my QB was throwing them in the dirt. He was throwing them in the stands. And I'm like, man, you don't want me to go anywhere. You know, you're trying to get me to stay. I ain't gonna say his name, but I'm gonna let him know after. But I love him. I love him.
Yeah, I love him too, man. I think he was a little bit nervous. He was a little nervous.
I'm like, no, man, I'm trying to go get it. But yeah, that was it. You know, and like I said, it's just unorthodox how I got there, but God had a plan. And I just always had people seem like they were pulling for me. There are no days off in the NFL if you're a free agent, none. And so we had a day off during camp, and I'm sitting in the players' lounge like I'm sitting right now, and I'm watching them play pool, and I feel the door open, but nobody walks through. And so it just stayed open, so I just happened to turn around, and it was John Gruden. Coaches don't come in the players' lounge.
No.
And so he just opened the door. He said, Burks. He said, what the hell are you doing? I said, Coach, man, I said, I'm just chilling. It's a day off. He said, where's your playbook? I'm like, in the room. You know, it's our day off. He said, you better not never let me see you without that damn playbook. And he closes the door. I'm like, oh, man, I'm getting ready to get cut. On my day off. I'm getting ready to get cut on my day off.
Friday.
On Friday. So everywhere I went, I had that playbook with me. And so it's just learning those things. So all to the free agents out there, man, you never know what's going to separate you from that next guy, from how you get out of the car, from the time you get to the facility, the time you leave the facility, they all have separators. Every team has separators that they're looking to choose between you and the next guy. And so it is not about talent. Is for the most part of it is not about talent. Everybody up there can play.
Yeah.
But when you get a job, can you keep it because of your character? That's it right there. Talent gets you in the door, but your character keeps the job.
Man, that's such wisdom right there. Ted Williams, who was down at the workout too.
Mm-hmm.
Ted gonna shoot you straight on all the things, man. I appreciate Ted so much. Man, love him. Ted said something to me, and he was just like, you know what? I remember talking to Edrin James, and Edrin James has some good words. And you know how Ted is. Ted, very, amplified is saying different things. He said, Edrin James said, look, coach, I'm just not trying to get to the NFL. I'm trying to come here and stay. He was like, whoa. He said, I knew then, talking to him, he was serious, and he was going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like you said, there's certain guys who just want to get there.
Yeah.
There's other guys who want to come in and they want to stay. It's like, get me a seat, get me a place. This is where I need to be. So that, man, is speaks volumes. So it ain't just about just making it. It's about staying. Where's your longevity? I want to come in. I want to compete against these guys. That's the best of the best.
We were at the when I was in the Arena League, when I just retired in 08, I was coaching. I was actually coaching with Doug Plank when he was the head coach of the Georgia Force. And our facility was right there with the Falcons. So the Falcons was out there at OTAs practicing. Our guys were in the weight room. And so when they finished, we were walking out. And one of the guys looked and he said, man, I wish I could be out there. And I just looked at him. I said, do you understand what it takes to be out there? I said, do you understand what all you have to go through just to put on those cleats? Just to make it into the locker room. Do you really understand? And he just kind of looked at me like, yeah. I'm like, you have no clue. I said, you have no clue, because I understood how he worked. But to be on that level, you are one of the best guys on the entire planet at what you do. When you look at NFL players, we are the best guys at our positions on the entire planet. So that fosters a total different mentality than anybody else. That's why the percentages are so low and who makes it, because we are different. We are special. A lot of people look at the rewards, the rewards, what pro football brings. No, but they don't understand that you can get cut if you get out of the car wrong. You can get cut if you have a bad practice. Have a bad practice you want to, and I've reminded you twice already. So dealing with that pressure, it make guys drink. It make guys, do drugs. I'm telling you, it turns a total different leaf. For 7 years, I never put my clothes in a dresser. I had 2 big black duffel bags that I always kept my clothes in. I never put them in a dresser drawer because I did not know when I was going to get that knock on the door or that call to say, hey, you need to go and see such and such. Bring your playbook. Because of the status that I was in, I knew what it was. I wasn't a draft pick. So, at the club now, be at the club you want to. You better be somewhere working out. You just don't have that favor. And that's how it was looked at that time. When we had first got in there. No, my number was 42. When I walked out of the Eagles locker room, practice number 1, my number was 42.
The wide receiver.
I'm walking behind Charlie Garner and Ricky Waters, and they say, "I'll be damned, we got a new running back out here." And I just kept walking. I did not look back. I'm like, they talking about me. I said, I can't stay. I can't stay in this number. Because you knew if you did not have an 80s number, that you weren't making the squad.
You weren't making squad. That's right.
You weren't making the squad. You knew those things. Yeah. So, I just took it upon myself to say, hey, I got to change the narrative.
Yeah.
I got to change the narrative. So I quickly figured it out on the scout team.
Mm-hmm.
When we ran off the cards, they had a certain route circled. And so I just happened to pick it, and the ball came to me. And okay, so I get back in the huddle again, see another route circle. I said, I'm going here. I was doggone it, the ball didn't come to me again. I say, they're in trouble now. So every time I got in the huddle with the other guys, I point to the one with the circle and I run out and go to the position. They say, man, how in the world every time you get in, you get in the ball? I say, I don't know. I have no clue. I don't know. But those tricks, man, hey, that's the league for you. You got to find a way to make it work for you.
Yeah, and the thing is, when you are servicing the defense, you're going against the number one guys. That's the way it works. So you're getting better. You torching the dudes out who Pro Bowlers. We had to shoot Troy Vincent. You know what I'm saying? Bobby Taylor. We're going to talk about Brian Dawkins was out there. I mean, we can go up.
Baby boy.
Come on, baby. Come on now. Come on. So we play with some real dudes. I told him about William Fuller. I said, when I came in, that was the first time I seen somebody had hair right here on their shoulder. I ain't never seen nobody had hair all the way up there on their shoulder and a bald head. You know what I mean? I knew I was. Yeah, I said, this is a totally different thing right here, man. Whole different world. Different world.
Yeah, best of the best, man. Best of the best.
Yes, sir. So, D-Man, we're gonna get into talking about a little bit of this matchup, okay, with the Eagles and the Chiefs. First off, I want to talk a little bit to you about a receiver. I was trying to explain to everybody about this Worthy and Travis Kelce. I did a little video about what happened with them and why it didn't work. And different people try to talk about, Worthy should have ran behind Travis Kelce on this. It's shallow cross concept, right? Mm-hmm. So I tried to explain it to him, like, listen, it's you got a picker. It's almost like basketball. Travis Kelce's setting a pick for Xavier Worthy to get open. Okay. Now, if he doesn't throw to him, Travis could keep going on man coverage and maybe he catches the football. But the way the play is designed, it is for Xavier Worthy to set the depth of the route. Travis Kelce knows this man, and he goes picks his guy. But people didn't quite understand like how these things can happen. I'm just like, look, it's ball. Guys get pushed. Defense get paid too, right? Yeah. So what ended up happening, Worthy had gotten up a little bit too high and realizes it. He tried to come back down underneath. And it was too late because Travis was already like, okay, he set the depth where he knows in his mind where it should be. And the defender kind of pushed him off. And so they collided at that moment. Just kind of talk about, man, like when you're a wide receiver, how important it is that the things that you're doing has to be on point, okay? And this is going to lead into kind of talking about like this last game in the Super Bowl a little bit, but just kind of talk about that, like generally what you just need to be doing, like how precise things have to be, the depth, what you're doing, your assignment, what everybody has to be, the quarterback's looking at. Just kind of get into that a little bit, okay?
Details. That's the word that sums it all up, details. So when a play is drawn up, I tell everyone, every offensive play drawn up is designed to score. Every last one of them. If all 11 does their job, the way these offensive coordinators' mind think, especially on paper, they're designed to score. And so every man has to do his job in order for the play to be successful. And so for us, I still remember when we say 6 yards from the tackle, when we're lining up in a tight split, they mean 6 yards from the tackle, not 5, not 4. They mean 6. Yeah. And so if they're saying at 7 and now you're the rubber, you're going to, like you say, set it high so the other guy can come underneath at 5 to make sure we get that mesh point. That's what they mean. And so you have to be very precise because of the timing of everything. The details now coincide with the timing, from the blocking assignments of the offensive line, from the steps to the quarterback, the depth of the routes of receiver, everything coincides together. And if one little thing is thrown off, now the whole play is out of the window. And so that's why it is stressed. The details of the play has to be perfect.
Yeah. That's it. Well said, man. So I was trying to tell people, like, look, the thing is, you can't just do your own thing. I get sometimes Travis Kelce does have somewhat of a leeway to kind of get open, but they've worked that out. They understand they're on the same page with each other, and Andy trusted. So Andy's like, look, if you can kind of get open on this play, go ahead. But nobody else has carte blanche to do the same thing that Travis does, right? You just can't just, I'm just going to change my route because I'm just trying to get open. Everybody has an assignment. You're supposed to do your job, period, and point blank. That's it. So
I go back and forth with our receivers. Well, I really don't, because like I said, I've seen it at the highest level, and I have done it. And so the new age way of how they are wanting to run routes, especially if you watch a lot of the 7-on-7s and things like that, a lot of that stuff do not correlate to the real game because of the timing aspects of everything. And so a lot of people, if you've sat in an NFL meeting and that offensive coordinator is up there presenting that play, he knows exactly who he wants to throw the ball to, and you're going to get open. You're going to now push the pocket for this guy to now come across, and you ain't getting the ball. You are the clear out guy. That means get your tail out of there so Irvin Fry can come across the field, and then we're targeting him as the number one. But now guys want to put a lot of variations on routes and things like that where it does not coincide to the timing of the plays because they see such and such do it. Coleman do it. They see Stephon Diggs do it. Those guys are classified as the number one receiver, which means we're paying them a whole lot of money. And their job is to get open, because if it don't work, now we may just take a little bit of money from them and they may get a choice of words. For you, we're taking your whole job. Yeah, we're going to cancel your whole job. So they don't see that part of it, And for some places on the field, it does have justification, right? It does, where I can now maybe delay a little bit and now maybe switch release or diamond release and do some of those things to offset my route so that now I can come underneath certain people, or certain concepts. But other than that, I just can't do it on every concept because this doggone inside route on the flood is wanting you to get out of there. But now you want an inside release and skip step and all of that. And okay, just keep on skipping to the airport because your ticket going to be there. Yeah, it's going to be there.
That's right. Hey, our offensive coordinator, Al Saunders, used to tell us all the time. He said, man, don't ever fool the quarterback. Don't fool the quarterback. Be where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. Yeah. And that's exactly how it goes. So why, like you said, you do all that skipping and trying to get open. You got somebody breathing down your neck ready to take your throat out. Okay? And he's coming in with bad intentions. He's not coming out there to give you a big old hug. That's not what he's trying to do. He's trying to bury you. That's what's going on. So for the quarterback,
once the ball snapped, I've never seen a defensive lineman skip step. I've never seen a defensive lineman diamond release. Right. They're trying to get the diamond. Yeah, they're trying to get to the diamond. They're going to do that diamond very dirty if they get there. So you spend all that time at the line of scrimmage you want to. No, you got to get out of there. That's what the NFL is about, is speed. They want speed so that now it can create cushion down the field, to really push the pocket of the secondary from a wide receiver perspective. So, like you say, a lot of guys, for me, I wasn't a 4-4 guy. My highest forward was a 4-5-3. That was it. But I ran every route as though I was running a 4-4 because I used all the 4-5-3. I knew what I was doing. And then you get 4-3 guys who look like they're 4-6 on the field because now they don't understand how to transition and use what they got because they're constantly thinking. So it's much more to it, like I say, than just getting out there running fast and jumping high. So you have to have a certain IQ to play on, especially that highest level. You got to have it.
So now at this highest level, okay, and it kind of goes into some of this conversation. When we talked about timing in the Super Bowl, we got decimated on the offensive line. A lot of it was that we couldn't get the ball out we were getting beat by 4 guys. Okay. We changed it up. We went and got us a left tackle that we think is going to be the left tackle of the future right here. Generational talent. He's incredible. Played at Ohio State. Just had to make sure his medical was good. Got a second-round pick who actually was the left tackle, came to playing guard. Now, that time that you were talking about, we didn't really give Patrick Mahomes that type of timing. Okay. We know what they got up there on defense side. They got Jalen Carter, who everybody's still saying he probably shouldn't even been in the game from spitting on Dak Prescott last week. What do you think about that? First, let me ask you about that, man. Do you think, guy, spitting on the court, and he said, what do you think?
That's another level. There's another level of disrespect. Really for me, my mentality is from whistle to whistle. I'm trying to really do you bad. I'm trying to really do something to you. To go that far, at the end of the day, we're still men. We're still men, and we still have high integrity. And so, and because you're more than just a football player. I don't care what people say. You're more than that. People are looking at you. They're looking at you as a role model, and we know that certain things are done within the lines, but to just deliberately, do that act, like that's the worst that you can probably do to somebody is spit on them. And so for me, that just kind of, it was an integrity failure. In my eyes, but he's a phenomenal player. I like watching him. I like watching Big Baby go. But I don't know what was going through his mind or his mindset or what he was going through, for that. Now, me and you both know, being in Philly and playing against, the Cowboys, there is zero love.
No love whatsoever. That's right.
There is no love. I don't care if we win. Lose 14 games, but them 2 better be wins versus Dallas Cowboys, and we're gonna party. That's what it was like. But I get that. But at the end of the day, let's have some control, about ourselves, and let's go out and just win in between the whistles.
Yeah. So I think it was a failure by the NFL, not really suspending him for what they should have probably did, a couple of games to really send a message for one. Okay, and like you said. When somebody spits on you, that's almost saying that you don't deserve to live. That's what I've always been taught. Somebody spit on you, that's the highest order of disrespect. Now, he said Dak Prescott spit on him first. Dak was like, I didn't mean to spit. I don't know how I got on him, but they called him. They knew for a fact he spit on him. To it, like we know for a fact that's what you did.
It was a big loogie.
Yeah, and it was supposed to be malicious in itself. And then, of course, last week, Travis Kelce gets hit, okay? And kind of talked about that, the big tart, defensive tackle, hits Travis Kelce. I mean, his head snaps all the way back. Now, this whole rule about open hand, closed hand, and how is one's lesser offense than the other makes no sense to me. Because the way I feel about it, somebody smacks me, okay? That's just as offensive as somebody punching me. All right? It is. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, he smacked me. Ain't no big deal. No. I'm taking that Joker's fingers. I'm breaking every single finger that he got. Okay? Just want you to let you know that. And so he was another one who didn't really get any type of fines put on him. Well, he got fined, but I don't think he lost any games unless something else new had came up.
Nope.
He hadn't. And he almost kind of put it out there like, I did it. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like braggadocious about it.
He kept sharing photos of it days and days after.
Yeah. And then I told him, I said, look, if a sucker hit me like that, I had to have me some ribs for the rest of the night. It wouldn't have been no way, no how he wouldn't have been able to get away with that. And I get Travis is trying to do his best. He's trying to leave it to the refs to go ahead and make it right, because the guy that retaliates is usually the guy that has to pay the price for it. I mean, that's usually how it goes. But I think it's a failure for those two things that happen. But you're right, man. At the end of the day, man, we are men. We want to be respectful on the field. There are certain things that you shouldn't do. And when we hear guys spitting on other guys, that stays in your mind. We almost know the guys that got spit on, right?
Yeah.
Omanowski doing it to J.J. Stokes and all, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy stuff, man.
I mean, and from a role model standpoint, I think 2 days later, the Florida and USF game, you had the Florida defensive lineman was spitting on a USF player during a game. So, I mean, that's just the highest level you're seeing. That's the younger generation is going to pick up on that stuff and want to do that. So it's just a bad reflection of the game.
Yeah. Protect the game. Integrity is everything. At the end of the day, that's all you got is your integrity as a man.
Yeah. So, with that being said, last week I was talking about the Eagles barely squeaking by, against the Cowboys. Obviously, A.J. Brown didn't get a lot of balls thrown his way. Devontae Smith really didn't either. And we talked about Dallas Goedert got his, he's got his little touches. Saquon was able to get a couple touches. He didn't really get to do too much. So Jalen Carter, I was just hearing some crazy things from obviously these pundits out here and saying like, man, if Jalen Carter beats Patrick Mahomes, he's going to be regarded as the best quarterback in football. And I like Jalen Hurts. I do. I think he's a phenomenal talent. I think he's a great quarterback. But to have a take that way is, I'm like, I don't know. Okay, I get people have opinions, but to put him up there as like the best quarterback in football, and the numbers in itself, right? It's just we gotta kind of speak about that. And I'm not taking anything from Jalen Hurts. I'm not. He's a great quarterback, but what do you say about these things that's going on that people say about this? Who is your top talented quarterbacks out here right now? Let me ask you that.
I like Jay. I really do. But I think he brings a different element to the game than Pat does. I like Pat. Pat is a playmaker. Pat is like Kobe Bryant on the basketball court because he's going to find a way to make a play when he's flipping balls and throwing them behind his back and all of that. He's doing something that, hadn't been done before. He's changed the game in that manner, and he's been successful at it. Jay don't say a whole lot. He just goes out. He's that put on that hard hat and, hey, let's go. He's gonna run you. He's gonna run and he's gonna, make the throws that he has to make. So he's a manager. For me, anything that you can do to win, hey, let's go. Let's go. Will your team to win. Because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Especially from our minds as former players, is I don't care what you do. Are you winning? Why are you doing it? So, I'm more or less a players type of guy. I don't really have teams because I just can't do it. So I just like favorite guys. But Stafford, I like Stafford. Lamar, like I said, they all bring some things to the table where it's like, man, I can sit and watch you, all day. Lamar just gotta get over that hump. That's it. I mean, what, 2 MVPs?
Two MVPs.
But have you won the big one? Let's go win the big one, and I think he will be definitely validated. Who else? Golf.
Okay.
Not golf, but from the Bills.
Josh Allen.
Josh. Oh yes, Josh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Josh something special too now.
Yeah.
He's something special. So those guys really kind of, like say, catch my eye. And I'm like, okay, when I see them on the tube, I'm watching them.
All right. Yeah. So I agree with you on that. I do. This is gonna be a good matchup coming back again. Because what I said is I don't think the Eagles are necessarily the same team in itself. The Chiefs have gotten better. Obviously, we lost our first 1 and 2 wide receivers. But we got kind of quality guys that I feel that are still there. We got Juju Smith-Schuster. We got Hollywood Brown. We got Tyquan Thornton, and we got a couple of tight ends, man, that do a great job, and some decent running backs to catch the ball out the backfield. And one of the things I wanted to emphasize is, even though we're without Rashid Rice and Hollywood Brown, or Rashid Rice and Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown is still, to me, a starting wide receiver in the league. Okay, he's been hurt, and with that, he's kind of disappeared the last couple of years. But Hollywood Brown, he had 1,000 yards a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Juju Smith-Schuster a couple of years ago, he also caught almost close to 80 balls, and didn't really have a lot of wear and tear. I think he's a little bit more healthy now. He looks a little bit different. Looks a little bit faster than what he did last year. I think these guys have something to give, man. Kind of talk about them as far as wide receiver. What your as a former wide receiver in the NFL, give me your opinion about those two guys, and do you trust them for Patrick Mahomes to throw the ball to them in a game like this?
I say yes, because you're not really looking at them to kind of carry the load for the rest of the season, because of, like you said, your top two are hurt. So obviously you're paying those other two to carry the load. But anybody can get up for one game. Anybody can get up for one game. Let's oil these knees up. Let's oil these elbows up. And, hey, I'm finna give you the business for this one. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to follow that next week, But the thing that I like that these guys have, and, you can take it to the bank, is called experience. You cannot beat that at all. They've been under the lights. They've done it at a high level. And so now, you don't have people going out and say, oh, I'm pulling my hair out because they don't have games. Now, like say if it's in my case, and now I'm sitting as a number 4 receiver and I only have 2 NFL games in, now, we getting ready to worry a little bit. We're gonna have, but these guys, man, they got numbers. They got numbers. Right. So they understand the magnitude of the game. They understand as professionals that they're gonna come to play. They're gonna come to play. And so that's why I say, and it's a way to reinvent themselves. It's a way to reinvent themselves. So it's a lot riding for them. So it's not just, I'm just a fill-in guy. No, these jokers think I don't have it no more. Let me go out and show them. Let me go out and show them so they can play from a totally different mindset than what people think they should be playing from.
And these guys are not old guys. That's another thing too, man. They're relatively young, D. Mm-hmm. So I know Hollywood Brown, wanted to play for the 1 year because he wanted to get some numbers up, like you said. He wanted to be able to reinvigorate his whole career, maybe go somewhere and get paid. That's what he wanted to be able to do. So this is going to be a great opportunity for him to be able to prove that he still has that about him. He still got that in him. Right.
And what better way? What better way? You got the biggest stage. You will have the biggest stage. So now you get to really find out, okay, who are you? Who are you as a player when those lights are shining bright? And hey, that's when you can get some of these guys now that could go.
That's right.
That could go and they'll surprise you.
So, Marcus, you got a question for D right now?
Yeah. I mean, you kind of mentioned how the team they're playing, the Eagles, is not the same team, right? Obviously, every year they're reigning Super Bowl champs, but it's not the same team. And last year, I think they were the league lead in sacks by the end of the season. Again, only 1 game sample size, but we saw their defense last week. Adoree Jackson was kind of giving up. I mean, if CeeDee Lamb could catch last week, he would have had, it would have dominated as far as statistics. I mean, he still had a pretty good game nonetheless. But that's something he's going to be their cornerback too in this game. And you mentioned guys like Hollywood Brown, Tyquan Thornton. These are guys who run 4.240. So these aren't, these are guys going to give it to you. But then also another thing, they had 0 sacks last week. And they just signed Zadarius Smith to try to give him some edge rush rotation, a veteran presence on the line there. When you look at this game, and I know it's different teams, but I'm seeing so much from a lot of the former players on ESPN and Fox Sports talk about, the Chiefs can't afford to go 0-2. It's a more of a must win for them. And I'm seeing Philadelphia beat writers say that the Eagles have a chance in this game to kind of the exact wording was that I saw from my WIP reporter. The Eagles have a chance to essentially kill off the Chiefs' mystique this weekend. It wouldn't kill their season, but if Chiefs dropped to 0-2 after getting smoked in the Super Bowl and having a pretty unimpressive 2024 season overall, the aura of the Chiefs will basically be gone. What do you hear stuff like that? I mean, how big of a game is this? Second week of the season? I mean, is this really a huge game? Is it make or break? Obviously not make or break, but is it a big game as far as like losing the aura, going down 0-2 and just kind of people seeing the Chiefs? The first time Patrick Mahomes could lose 3 games in a row in his career. He's never done that before.
Okay, well, anything can happen, but let me say this. It's week 2. It's week 2 of the season. It's not a divisional game at all. So that's when it starts to matter. When we get in the division and then we get into the playoffs, that's when it really matters. This is a warm-up. This is a warm-up for the division. And so come and see me in October or December. Now we can talk. Now we can talk. But right now, for people to say that, hey, we getting ready to beat the Super Bowl Chiefs and, or the Super Bowl Eagles and all of that. Hey, this is not the Super Bowl. This is week 2 of the season. So let's go to the Super Bowl. Now we can have that conversation. But right now, no, it's not the same team. It's not the same mindset. It's not. But I do think you will see a great game. And like I said, it's just a warm up to what's to come. And so that's just, people want to almost like you want to get in the car and once you start, you want to drive and without letting it warm up. No, we got to let this thing warm up. We got to gain momentum because what you don't understand is what's going on in between those huddles in their facilities. You don't understand that part of it. So you have to see the whole entire picture from injury status because they're not going to tell you everything that's going on, who's hurt and all of that. So until we can get those pieces on the board or on the field to now line up and play, and now we're actually playing for something, then yes, from a player standpoint, that's what we play for. But this right here, we're just trying to be consistent. We're just trying to be consistent. We're trying to get our team together and get things rolling. But we will see a great game.
Yeah, and I truly believe, it's not going to be anything like the Super Bowl, what you saw this past year, right? Like you said, they went and got some more to Darius Smith to get some help to try to help, pull up a little bit more pressure on the quarterback. We gotten better off the offensive line. We have done that. One thing we haven't done the past game was run the football effectively. That was one of the things that we needed to get kind of established. I think helps out. We know the run helps out the pass. And so when you're looking to try to get the ball to, we were talking about the older wide receivers or some of the tight ends, I think you got to be able to establish your run first. And so I think in once you got like in the Super Bowl, we became one-dimensional. Well, as pass rush, that's what you want. You got your chops. Man, you sitting over saying, man, all I had to do pin my ears back and just go. That's it. That's what you're doing. So this is going to be a different thing by full measure, just to talk about this challenge in itself. And also, too, is playing at Arrowhead, which is another, obviously advantage of playing at home. And then, of course, like the Chiefs losing in the way that they did against the Chargers, you're sitting there saying, yeah, we don't want to drop, like Marcus said, 3-0. But even 2-0 at the very first of the season, okay? You don't want to do that. Somebody tried to make a big heyday about guys at the very end of the game, Chris Jones and Drew Tranquill, kind of, mouthing at each other pretty much after the game was kind of sealed up. It was like, oh, my gosh, was there smoke, there's fire, and all these different things. And, these guys look like they're unraveling. And it kind of talked to them about, like, how championship teams actually deal with things like that. You're going to have some bickering between brothers. These things do happen.
Oh, yeah.
Just let them understand, D, what that focus means when you're talking about teams at championship have been in Super Bowls that have that history.
I'll say this too, Marcus. How much are the guys getting paid for this game right here? Do you know how much they're getting paid for this game?
For game check? No, I don't know.
Is their regular salary? Is their regular salary? So now what you don't have, the difference in those games in the playoffs and things is that they are all tiered off as far as now what they're going to get paid. So Super Bowl is a big check. But what a lot of people don't understand too is that some guys, and I had to learn this, like this kind of blew me away, is that they rely on those checks to carry them for the offseason. Like this is my offseason check so that I get back to next year. So they're playing for a different purpose. For this game, they're only playing for pride.
That's right.
They're only playing for pride. So when it counts, that's when you see the dogs come out. When they playing for that money, that's when the dogs come out. But right now, they're playing for pride. They're playing for pride. So the magnitude may be a little bit different than the Super Bowl. Okay. But when you're looking at championship team is now we understand the standard that's been set from an organizational standpoint. We understand we have to live up to that standard. Okay. And so each guy has his own ceiling. So I know what Jason Dunn's ceiling is. Jason Dunn understands what Dialleo Burks' ceiling is. And when we're not playing up to that ceiling, now me and Jason Dunn got to have a conversation. We got to have a conversation about what we're playing for, right? Now, if I know Jason is hurting and I know he can't give his best, then hey, just give me all you got. Just give me all you got. But if I know Dunn is not hurt, and I understand now that he's crying because he just wants the ball, so now he's just missing blocks and not running out on kickoff and things. Me and Jason Dunn gonna have a conversation because now we're out here together battling. We're out here together battling. He's leaning on me to have his back, and I'm leaning on him to have my back. That's just how it is. Don't leave me out to dry. If you leave me out to dry, now what you're saying is I don't care anything about you. And we've been through way too much together to come out here on this field where those other guys on the other side don't care nothing about you. They don't. They're coming for blood. I can't allow you to leave me out there like that. So yes, we're gonna have a conversation. But it's motivational in how we go to each other. When you go to each other in that mode, we've bypassed all other levels. So now you haven't heard what I've been saying. Maybe I say, hey, Jay, come on. Hey, you good? Hey, man, let's go. I know you do better than that. Hey, I got you. Well, now next time he messes up and I'm looking at him like, hey, man, come on now. This ain't it. This ain't where we are, especially if the game is not going in our favor. But then you can look at that joker and say, hey, man, if you don't get this right, man, you finna go at it. Yeah. We get ready to go at it, right? It's just us understanding each other what we have. We understand each other's ceiling, and that's all it is. It's not that I'm hating on Dunn. No, man, I'm trying to win so that maybe it's going to help me get a bonus.
Yeah.
I want to win the game.
Yeah.
I want to win the game, and so that's the competitive nature. And I don't want to lose. No, don't talk to me after no loss. No. So I need you now to get your tail together. I don't care what you got going on off the field. That ain't got nothing to do with me. We'll talk about it in counseling together. I will go with you. But for right now, this only counsel you get ready to get is your tail together. That's how players talk to each other.
Yeah. Man, that is so spot on, D, just by saying it, because I think that goes into that leadership, right? It's not about the loudest guy. And I think what the bickering came in was just having an understanding like, look, man, you can't be selfish. You can't have a selfish act. Chris Jones had a selfish act at the end, okay? Mm-hmm. I know he was trying to make a play, okay? And I think Drew Tranquil was like, man, I'm trying to win, bro. That's what he's telling, like, yo, like, but you cannot compromise the integrity of what we're trying to do defensively. When it's 3rd and 15, you can't just do what you want to do because we don't have nobody else covering that part. That's how they got the first down. And so I think Chris, when I seen him at the press conference, first he was mad at the loss. 2, he was mad at himself. 3, he took accountability for what it was, but he didn't really want to say to everybody else what the conversation was because it was in-house. It was between brothers, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to talk about it, but you hit it spot on. That's exactly what it is. And sometimes, I don't care if you're the biggest star. Sometimes the biggest star needs to be called out. If you're not doing the right job, like, hey, man,
that don't mean nothing. What the biggest star mean? When I was with the Eagles, right? And the game meant so much to me. I understood what the offense was doing. I didn't want to be in the press box or in the skybox where they put us. Put me on the field. I want to be on the field. I asked Ray Rose every week that I was on the practice squad to stand on the field. I wanted to stand on the field because now I practice every day with these guys. I understand exactly what's going on. If I'm not playing, let me be a mental piece to the puzzle to help support these guys. That's how much the game meant to me. Not to be up in no doggone press box. Look, no. I need to be on that field because I'm wearing the same helmet they wearing.
Mm-hmm.
And so at that point, I don't care if you're making $1 million. I don't care if you're making $40 million. At that point, it don't matter. Do your job.
Right.
Do your job because at that point, it's about the respect. It's not about the check.
Mm-hmm.
And real players understand that.
Yeah.
I don't care what you got. That don't mean nothing. God has blessed you. Yes, he has. But right now, in between this doggone clock that's still on, your check ain't got nothing to do with this. It's about your respect and integrity as a football player as to how we're going to get this doggone thing done and we're going to win this game.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it comes down to this. Sometimes that pride, if you're too prideful, there's no correction for you. And that's a dangerous place to be.
Yes, sir.
That's a dangerous place.
Yes, sir. I'm with you. I'm riding with you. Like I say, you the millionaire. I get it. Hey, let's go ahead and get this wing because after the game, the wing's going to be on you because you know I ain't got enough to get it. The wings and drinks going to be on you. So let's go win this doggone game. I support you wholeheartedly.
Right. But Dad, man, you got to play your position, man. You got to do what's right. Man, I'm telling you this.
We all know that respect factor. We all know the respect factor. And at the end of the day, I was telling my guys this because they often want to know what the league is about and this and that. I say, look, I've had millionaires who made multi-million dollars come to me as an undrafted free agent and tell me, hey, you can play, man. That validation right there that I got was more than any amount of money. Any amount of money. Because if anybody knows anything about the NFL, a lot of the best players are not on the field.
Yeah.
A lot of the best players are not on the field.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
And so for you to be in those positions and have a Irvin Fry, Chris T. Jones, those guys come and say, hey, man, you doing it. You got it. At the end of the day, that's all we can ask for. Do we want the millions? Everybody wants the millions. But for us, for me, the millions is in the respect.
Mm.
If you respect my game, you respect my game, that's enough for me.
Oh, man. And sometimes what ends up we find out as well that those guys, sometimes the one that's getting paid, hey, man, that don't mean nothing. Sometimes guys get comfortable after getting paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, they paid you all this money and you still not doing your job? Okay, all right. I tell you what, you see how long that's going to last, okay?
Yeah. But then a lot of those guys' mind, they like, hey, I'm good. But what do you want your legacy to be? You know, are you willing to tarnish, everything that you work hard for because of a dollar amount that you're making? Come on, you're better than that. I can't let you go out like that if you're around me. I can't do it, And I will say I love Irv to death, man. That's my guy, Irvin Fry. That is my guy because he allowed a small-time guy to break into his heart. When I said something to him and he looked in my eyes, he's like, okay, that's good. He said, how did that look? I said, it sucked. I said, that route sucked. Well, what can I do better than he gonna say it on a tone that he gonna No, man, it sucked. That ain't you. That's not you.
Right.
I got you, man. I got you. And so that's it. Because like I said, we're trying to win together. We're not trying to be isolated and you think you know it all because you're getting a check. Don't do that. Don't do that. You there because of where you've been, right? If we want to go there, that you did what you had to do in college. Now your name is ringing, so now we're gonna put butts in the seat. But if it come down to route for route, let's go to war. Let's go to war. Let's do that.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you guys kind of hit on some points because Kelsey had his New Heights show today, and he talked about like the motivation aspect that they have going into this game. And just in that conversation, you guys hit on some of the points that he kind of addresses a little bit within his soundbite. I'm just going to play it real fast.
Football team, a motivated football team going in against the team we just got beat by in the Super Bowl, a team that we feel like we didn't play our best, and coming off a week where we didn't feel like we played our best. So we got to fix a lot of things, both offensively and defensively, and we got to get this thing fucking going, man. We got to get this train fucking running a little bit more. And the biggest thing for me is energy, man. We got to come out with fucking energy. And I know Arrowhead's going to bring it. It's going to be fun to feel that atmosphere. But unless the players are on the field doing that, Arrowhead's not going to be a fun atmosphere, man. So we got to fucking bring it, knowing that we got one of the best teams or the champs coming in.
Yeah, so you guys talk about the motivation aspect, and it sounds like the team is motivated, but they just have to kind of show that motivation on the field, not just just talk about it.
Yeah, set the bar, Kales. Kales just setting the bar. That's it. We know who we are. We know whose we are. Now we got to go out and show it. That's all he was saying. Hey, our standard, we talked about that ceiling, is not where we've been. That's not it. So now let's come out and show everybody where our ceiling is. That's it, plain and simple.
And he understood they put a bad product out there like that. And that regard is saying, look, we can lie to a lot of different people. One thing we can't do is lie to ourselves. And like D said, we know we got a certain standard about it. This ain't it. This is not okay. And so everybody can't sit back like, okay, we just lost the first game. We're going to move on now. There's some things we need to talk about. We're going to look over the film, and we need to be real with one another. We got to be real where we are, okay, what we're fighting against, even if it's ourselves. So if I had to take it on myself to be more responsible in the things I do, hold myself accountable, because what I'm not doing, I didn't get my job done, hey, then that's what it needs to be. And so he's just taking stock of it, D. That's what a leader does. So whether it was him, Chris Jones, Patrick Mahomes, and then Drew Tranquil, and all those guys, they got to talk about it. They got to speak about it. Our secondary didn't really have a good game this past game. They looked out of position. You could tell there was a lack of communication. Things that always kills a team, right? Kills like the cohesiveness of doing things like the right way. And so for a team that's lacking communication, what can you do to kind of get that back, especially for a secondary, D?
Well, first of all, get back in the film room, and just understand what are the schematics of what we're doing. It's real simple. If you know what you're doing, you can play fast and play aggressive. And so now it has to be, if they're out of sync like that, they really don't know what they're doing. If one guy is out of sync, it now puts the whole secondary, at jeopardy. And so that's why I say, hey, do we need to just simplify some things to where our guys can just go and play versus having this elaborate scheme and now only a few people understand what they're doing. And so that's one of the common things that I've heard around since I've been here. If a player knows what he's doing, he can play fast and play aggressive. That's right. And so get on the same page from calls to alignments, assignments, and technique. That's it. Let's hit those three areas. And if they can do that, they'll get back in sync together.
Yeah. There's been a lot of contention about Nagy. Okay. A lot of people have been wanting to get rid of him as a play caller, as a coach. They don't feel like he's calling the right plays. They feel like the temple of what they're doing offensively doesn't really have, a character to it. Okay, we don't have an identity, and so it seems like he's just, obviously we talk about, well, who's calling the plays? Is it Andy's offense? Is Nagy calling the plays? If something goes right, it's Andy doing it. If something goes wrong, it's Nagy. You play with Nagy. Just kind of give us some of, his things that he brings to the table. A lot of people may not necessarily know about him. Okay.
Nagy is, for one, a jokester. You said I was a jokester. That joker there, man, he's hilarious. He has a great sense of humor. But you want to talk about the ultimate competitor? He is the ultimate competitor. When I was up there with the Bears, interning with him, after practice, he's still throwing balls in the trash can, competing against the quarterbacks, and they don't kind of know him like I know him as a teammate. But this joker was upset. Now he was upset when he lost the competition. He smiled for the cameras and all of that, but deep down, that joker he don't like to lose. Now he does not. But he's a smart guy too, because like I say, I saw him from an Arena League standpoint. He was a signal caller. He understood all the nuances of the game. When I was in Chicago and sat in some of those meetings just to hear how he presented the information, I was blown away. I'm talking details. I'm talking trickery. I'm talking just confinement to certain points that I'm like, wow. I'm like, man, how in the world did you learn all of this? And he said, hey, I just stuck to my guns. I wanted to soak it all in and just go with it. And he's had that opportunity to do it. But Nags, he is a competitor. He does not want to lose. I can tell you that wholeheartedly from nothing. If his shoes look better than yours, he's gonna let you know about it. That's who he is. Them little pigeon toes and everything. That's him. But he's a great guy. But when it comes down to a football coach, like I say, because I watched him heavily when I was there in that atmosphere when he was the head coach with the Chicago Bears, and he took on a lot. But we would have, certain conversations, because I would just straight ask him, I said, man, how are you doing? Because everybody knows it is lonely at the top. You pour into a lot of people, but you have very few people that pour into you.
Yeah.
And so I say, hey, man, I ain't with this NFL stuff and all that. I'm asking you from Dialleo Burks to Matt Nagy, how you doing? And it's like a breath of fresh air just like comes over me, And so then it's get back to work, because you're always on the edge. You're always on the edge. You're always trying to find that next play that's the heavy hitter. So for him to take this criticism that he's taking, he's built for it. Okay. He's built for it. But how many championships have he been a part of and they've had that same system?
Yeah. Yeah.
We can't forget that.
Right.
Did everything now change and just go out of the window? No. This has been the same setup since he's been in the role.
Yeah.
So what losing brings is clarity. That's what losing brings. Is now everything is heavily analyzed. The blame has to go somewhere. It has to go somewhere.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Will he hold guys accountable? Will he get on guys if guys are messing up? If I'm sitting over and I'm looking at maybe my right tackle who's had 4 false starts, is he somebody who's going to pull a guy to the side? Will he call him out in the meeting? Or will he just there's a particular way that he handles folks, right? Because,
he's very particular.
Okay.
How he handles people. But like I say, the Nagy that I know and the Nagy that I've seen was he pulled the whole receiver group over one time in practice because a running back got on the scout team as a receiver, and he let him have it. I was like, I said, he just got in for 2 plays. But when he saw that, it was top off. I was like, okay, here we go. Let's dig deep. Let's dig deep. So, like I say, he's a competitor. He's a competitor. So from what I've seen, when things within his control, because like I said, I don't know how much control and Coach Reed has given him. I don't know those things. I'm not in those meeting rooms.
Yeah.
But what I do know is that if the job's not getting done, he will address it, from what I know.
Okay. And I can see that about him. Obviously they talk about, but then Bieniemy is going to get on guys. And, Bieniemy is old school, and I'm sure Nagy is too, of just like talking to you straight. And most coaches in the NFL are going to let you know where you stand. Okay. They ain't going to just let you pat you on the back if you just, hey, man, don't worry about it. Hey, you had 4 mistakes. That's all right. That ain't how it works. That ain't how it works. Somebody going to let you know. They going to like, hey, man, look, we can't have that. And then, like, they were talking about, like, players. Travis got on, all right tackle. A little bit like, yo, man, like, focus up. You got to focus, man. Because then you put everything in jeopardy, and people don't understand, like, when you become 1st and 20, you change the play calling. Now I got to look at my play sheet a little bit. Now it looks a little different. Oh, man, okay, we got to switch it up, okay? So those things like that affects everything, man.
Yeah. It's situations of the game. Great coaches masters situations of the game. They understand, like you say, when we're backed up, what we have, what can our offense do, and we're going to get out of there. Red zone, we understand how to put points on the board. Behind with this amount of time, we understand how to put the play calls together, how to prepare guys to get out of bounds 2 minutes. We're ahead in between the hashes, get what you can get now. That's what a lot of people don't see, and that's a lot of stuff that the players mess up. The players are used to just playing. A lot of players are not used to now thinking through situations. Now, it's our job as coaches to prepare those guys, but a lot of players are limited. They're limited in the headspace, some of them. Now, on our level, the professional level, everybody's supposed to be able to get it. But even on that level, everybody don't get it.
Right. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
When Nagy was the coach in Chicago, and Andy Reid always talks about the kind of the collaborative effort the play calling goes into. Obviously, Andy's the head guy, but he had EB, he had Nagy, and it's kind of a collaborative effort, as JD always talks about. There's an offensive coordinator, but again, there's a kind of collaborative effort that goes into play calling. I know people just want to point to, Nagy's the OC. He should take the blame for the offense not looking as good as it did 2 years ago. But when he was the coach in Chicago, was it just like that? Was it a collaborative effort? How much involvement did he have in the play calling as the head guy?
He had a lot. He had a lot of involvement. Like I said, he ran the meetings and everything. Like he would. Everybody on this would have input. Like he's talking now. Yeah. So he was heavily involved. He didn't just let the show go. Like, he was in it. Like I say, he's a competitor.
Yeah.
He's a competitor. So that's what I saw when I was, like I said, he was heavily involved.
D, what we going to do, man? Man, I appreciate your time, brother. I know we said we're going to talk 40, 45 minutes, and I know you got to get on the road to come on up this way, man, and play your ball. What I'm gonna do, man, is I'm actually gonna send out our link.
Okay.
We can ask you a couple of questions if you don't mind. Maybe about the game, something that we didn't cover. And I always say, man, game's gonna take care of itself. We could talk about a lot of different things, but one thing I just want to kind of address is obviously the teams, the matchups, or how they look, but also too, what you had to overcome the last week. Okay, this is a brand new week altogether. What do you do in-house to get yourself ready? Okay, because you got to take care of your own stuff. You can't worry about the other team, what they do, and all of, somebody didn't get, suspended. None of that matters. All that matters is everybody that's in that room and what you come out with in that mindset when you run through that tunnel. Okay. Those things right there is how you win games. Okay. You can't control what you can't control. So what we're gonna do, man, we're gonna open up this the link, get some guys in here and gals if they want to ask you some questions, maybe about this game. Okay.
All right, let's go.
All right. So we see if somebody gonna come in here and brave the Rapids a little bit. So I see Marcus he was in here a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Might have to get him on here to come on in also too. Let me see let me get hit him up real quick.
I see Sasha said, I really enjoyed watching you guys play at EKU. You made every running back look great. I wish Eric Clay stayed. I made every running back look great because I'm blocking for him. That's all I did was block. I like that, Sasha. That's a good one there. Yes, I did. A whole lot of them.
We got our first person coming in here. Optimistic James is coming in here now. He had a question earlier and as well, so we'll get him in here. What's up, Optimistic James?
How you doing tonight, Marcus?
Good, man. How you doing, buddy?
What up? What up, Optimistic James? What's going
Miss
on?
Doug, number 89.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. It's Mr. Dialleo Burks right there himself. Yeah, head coach,
Mr.
man.
Burks, coach.
Yeah.
How you doing, James?
I can't complain about it. I wanted to ask a question because they had this thing going on the social media saying that the Chicago Bears hadn't made it to the Super Bowl since 1985. I could have swore 2007 they made it to the Super Bowl, right? Rex Grossman.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Was you a part of that team or affiliated?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't at that time. It was right after it was COVID to 2021. I was affiliated with them. So it was a couple years ago.
So in this time within the Chicago sports, and this is going back to Kansas City because Kansas City, we had very dark days.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, one of my first things was that like Johnny Morton and Keenan McCardell were the free agents that had came to the Kansas City Chiefs, and I said, we don't do good with wide receivers that get recruited from other teams.
Mm.
In this thing where it comes like say for instance Hollywood Brown and or Xavier Worthy, compared to what you was talking about earlier about every position has a position. If it's 5 yards, it's 5 yards. Is it 7 yards? It's 7 yards. Was Travis Kelce kind of in, the wrong for that route? Because how do you pick off a person over them whenever you're supposed to go under them? So who was the wrong one in the route of that one?
Well, looking at it, if me and you are meshing, okay, and I'm supposed to be picking for you, and I didn't see it, but I know what the mesh concept is. Even on the high school level, to make sure that we get that separation we need, high school receivers are taught to reach their hand out and give 5 to each other to make sure we got that proximity. All right. In college, I wish you would reach out to give somebody 5. No, you understand what 7 yards is. You understand what 5 yards is. But I didn't see if the release point of the setter was distorted in any way.
But I'm sorry, excuse me.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
excuse me, but Travis hit him on his outside shoulder. He didn't hit him on his inside shoulder.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I kind of give a little bit of clarity. So Xavier actually goes up about 2 or 3 yards, and he's supposed to flatten out. Okay, this is how this works.
Right.
All right. Travis knows that Xavier sets the depth of the route. Okay, so whatever it is. Okay, so they might have ran the concept for it to be shallow, but in seeing man concept, Travis got to figure out who's the guy that's on man? Xavier. He's the guy running the pick. Xavier's got to set his man up so he can rub off Travis.
Right.
Okay. So even if Xavier, he had gotten up so high D, and he's fast. That's another thing too. He's so fast getting over there. Travis kind of stutter steps at the line of scrimmage. Well, Travis gets up, and by the time he's turning, the linebacker pushes Travis. So it kind of pushed Travis down. Well, Xavier takes an angle to try to come back down to climb underneath Travis, and that's where the collision happens. Okay. So you had two things happening. Travis gets pushed down, and Xavier got too far up. He's trying to come back down underneath.
Right now, yeah.
And by the time that timing, bam.
He was.
Go ahead.
I understand that, and then one more thing. If you saw that where the Chargers, they got basically bailed out. The Chargers got bailed out saying that they had like an illegal formation or whatnot or whatever that didn't mess around to happen. They had the thing that was basically what I'm saying is on that penalty that they got at the end of the freaking second quarter, all of their freaking wide receivers was off ball. All of the freaking tight ends were off ball. The only people that was on ball was the 5 people on the line. How did they not mess around and call that? And then in the second one that came after that penalty, they did the same thing and got all the way down the field with that. And nobody seems to be talking about that. You're supposed to have, even the Chiefs ended up getting called for it because the Chiefs started doing it after they saw that the Chargers were getting away with it. The Chargers was all off ball. Like Michael Irvin said, he wanted to be on the ball so he could have less time for the person that's right there on the other side to mess around and try to get to him. All of those people had way too much cushion on those plays that sent them all the way down the field. That was way too much wrong. And I'm sorry that I'm venting. I'm just mad about that. And that's what I wanted to prove from that. And I'm sorry, but I was just... Anyway, I was mad about that. And
James,
what do you think about that shit?
As a receiver, okay, I can be on the ball but off the ball because it's a referee that's standing right there beside me, and especially if I'm getting pressed, I want all the room I can. Now, Mike is a different beast. Mike is 6'5", and he was 200-some pounds, so he overpowered a lot of the DBs that he played against. So, but now these DBs are standing 6'4", 200+ pound running. So for me, I want to get all of the space I can get, so I can still be on the ball but off the ball based on what that referee is telling me, because he's telling me, hey, you're good. Okay, if I'm off the line, well, I'm good. I'm not finna move. I'm not finna just come up and now put my helmet on your helmet. No. Yeah, I'm not finna do that. So I'm gonna get as much space as I can so now I can create. Okay, does that make sense? Because they gotta have.
I hear you, but that's illegal.
No,
but I thank you very much, Mr. Burks.
It's not illegal if the referee don't say that.
Because you look over to the referee to check. Am I good? And he'll let you know.
James, this is what I want you to look at. The receiver that comes out, he's supposed to point forward to say, I'm on the line. The referee will now lift up his hand to say you're good.
And Kadarius Toney screwed us out of a Super Bowl.
Wow. All right, my brother. We got somebody else on the line.
Appreciate you. I love. Thank you.
Love you, my brother. Appreciate it.
See you, buddy.
What's good?
Oh, man. What is all that green?
EKU in the building, baby. We represent. That's good.
Yes,
What's
sir.
up,
How you doing, man?
Man, I'm good, brother. I'm good.
MT, what's up, my brother? What's going down with you, man?
It's all good in the hood, man. Try not to go crazy with these other people. I heard you saying it earlier, man. It's just week 1.
Pump your brakes.
Week 1, man.
It's a lot of football left. A lot of football left.
Yeah, a lot of wrinkles to iron out. You know, nobody comes in perfect. They don't.
Nah. This the new preseason.
It is. There you go.
This the new preseason, man. I got a thing now. I don't have no opinions on the teams until after week 3. That means all the teams got film on everybody. You got enough time to put together a legit game plan and a scheme based on what you saw this year, not last year, but what you've seen at the present time. And we all know that the teams nowadays, they have newer-a-days. They don't have two-a-days. They don't bang like we used to bang.
Right.
So the first 3-4 games of the season, people trying to knock the rust off, people trying to learn how to tackle again.
Yeah.
And then once you get past that, then you really see what you got.
Yeah.
So, you know, Philly got his own issues, the whole Jalen Carter thing. Dallas Goedert is hurt already. You know, we got our own set of circumstances over here, man. So, but it's all good.
Well, you know, they were saying that, the studies that came out while the Bengals is always starting slow. About 5th game of the season, start rolling. Well, none of them played during preseason. That's the reason. Nobody's getting ready. And you see what they did this past week.
They got lucky, is what they did.
Yes.
Because if Cleveland would have had a better kicker,
yep,
they got lit up by 40-year-old Joe Flacco.
Mm-hmm.
I watched that game. Joe Flacco was lighting them up. And then they lost, stupid kickers. But
so tell me why you believe in them Birds. Let me ask you that.
Listen, the Birds got to just keep doing what they've been doing. Already, you even got people in Philadelphia, man. I heard you guys talking about how good of a quarterback Jalen is. I'm with you, Diallo. If he winning, he winning.
Mm-hmm.
I did a video last year going into the playoffs. There were 45,000 passing yards at home or in Cancun watching the playoffs. So everybody's got those boxes they want to check on what they want their quarterback to look like. Josh Allen is a beast. He still ain't made it to the big game.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert still ain't made it to the big game. Joey Burrow, he got there, couldn't get it done. And then our guy, with all of his faults and all of his warts, done been there twice and has outplayed the best in the business twice. So for me, I'm not concerned about all of that. If anybody want to talk about the flaws that Jalen Hurts has, I simply say I couldn't hear you because I was shining my Super Bowl ring. Can you say that again? It doesn't matter because all of these guys that standing 6'4" and can throw the ball all over the yard. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joey Burrow, Herbert. Who else you want to put in that category? They not getting it done in the playoffs. And that's all that matters, and that's all that they're going to remember you by. Always tell people. Now, you guys will remember this. The best arm I've ever seen in the NFL was Jeff George.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a horrible quarterback.
Yeah.
He was not a good quarterback, and he was an even worse leader. So the golden arm, the long ball is overrated. Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games. If you got a guy that can do that, that's all you need. I don't give a damn what it looked like.
Yeah. Let's win. Win the game. That's all I care about.
Well,
win the game.
I give you another one. A big time arm. Dan Marino. Dan did he get 0?
He got to that first one his rookie year.
Yep.
And everybody just knew he was going back.
Mm-hmm.
And he made the fatal flaw. He didn't believe in the running game.
Yeah.
So, it's written out there for it, but everybody wanted to look a certain way. And when it doesn't, everybody want to come up with a bunch of excuses.
We've seen a lot of that, I guess, the first week. Fire this guy. This guy's trash. Oh my gosh, unbelievable. Get rid of the defensive coordinator. Has he had his time down in the league?
Yeah.
Fire Nagy's offense doesn't look the same. Everybody was coming with every single thing why the Chiefs didn't win. And I was saying, it's week 1. There's things that do happen. Well, how does that all mesh or shallow cross? How did they get? It's ball. It's football. There's
Football.
guys starting on each other. Guys are just still trying to get into shape, like you said. They're not running the two-a-days. So, I mean, it's club med. They ain't doing the things that, we used to do to get ready. And so I said this, the physical game, we know this. The game is won up front. But if you're not practicing physical, you're not going to be physical out there on the field. So you do see missed tackles. You're going to see linemen get beat. You're going to see maybe the D-line not necessarily being able to get back and get sacks. Well, why is that? Well, you're not going full speed in practice.
Nope, you don't practice it.
You don't practice it.
That has become an old school process that they just don't do anymore. All this technology with health and medicine and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Heck, I remember when it was a big deal when they started swallowing the pill and you could monitor core temperature and all of that type of. I was like, "Ooh, that's next level stuff." But now, man, y'all got oxygen chambers and all kind of stuff, man. And it's like, you know what? Back in the day, we used to just get out there and play. And if you was tough enough to make it, you was tough enough to make it. Diallo, I felt you on that one when you said when you talking to your boy in the with the Georgia Force. Is like, do you understand what it takes to make it to the top 1% of your class?
Yeah.
It's a whole nother ball game. And people think we just out here playing the game and they don't understand the daily battles and the soreness and all of that type of stuff that you got to deal with, let alone, you get your marbles racked around for 60 minutes in a week. So it's a different game right now, but everybody expects the same results.
Same result. Yeah.
But you don't train for it the same way.
Yeah. The mental anguish anguish when now I had one of my old playbooks that I kept. And so
did they charge you for it?
I somehow I got it. They didn't. But I showed them an install.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Do you guys install all these plays?" I say, "This is just one practice.
Every week.
This is one practice right here." I say, "You're going for a good 2.5 weeks of stuff that's continuing to compile. I say, so you understand why they asking you if you're a good student athlete or not, if you're a good student?
Yeah.
Because of the amount of information that you have to learn.
You got to recall all of that stuff, man.
And then go out and perfect it.
Yeah.
I wish you would line up 4 yards from the tackle when it's 3.
Yeah.
No, 3. And so for that pressure to be placed on you and you got to still go out and perform, that's everybody can't do it. Everybody cannot do it.
Look how intimidating this thing is.
I see it. I'm having a nightmare right now.
Yeah. What is this? What is
crazy, man? Crazy. And now and even just, I mean, think of the opportunities that they got to study. So when we did it, we had that big 3-inch playbook, right? Then you had to go home with like 3 or 4 Betamax tapes. You had to have a Betamax player at home. Now they can sit back and relax. Everything's on the iPad. You log into the server. You load up everything you want, or you go into the NFL Pro website, pull up any game, any player, and all of that stuff is right there for you, man. And we had to do it the hard way. Some guys had to reel at home because we were still watching film was literally watching film. We did it the old school way, man.
So hey, I remember when I was with the Titans in 18. I'm interning, right? And so I walk in and I'm in there with Rod Moore, receiver coach. And so they get me set up and everything. I said, "Coach, where my playbook at?" I said, "Do I get a playbook?" He was like, "No, they don't iPads now." I say, so I went in and made my own playbook, right? I went into the closet. There was Vrabel's first year. I went and found the closet and I made me a physical playbook. So Corey Davis walked. And very nice guy. I love Corey now. Love him. And so I said, "Corey," I said, "Look, you got your iPad, man?" He said, yes, sir. So he showed it to me, got all the plays on it, everything, got the video attached to it so they get to see. I said, "Oh, okay." So when the free agents came in, I'm looking at those guys and I sit back and Coach Rob introduced me and all of this. He's like, "Coach, just tell a little bit about yourself." I said, "I don't have no love for none of y'all." And they look like, man, who is this guy? I say because for one now, you guys got access to all of the information for the entire offseason.
Yep.
You got all the information. You don't have 3 weeks to learn the whole entire thing. Y'all got months.
Yeah.
So I said, I can't wait to see a practice where there's not going to be any mistakes. I said, because that's what we should be seeing.
No excuses.
There should be no mistakes in practice.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's totally different now with like I said, with the iPads. And when I saw the video attached to it, I was like, oh man. I said, oh no.
And then they got the video. They got the video against cover 2. Then they got the video against quarters. Then they got the video against match coverage. They got it against everything. You have every little split, every little detail is covered. So you got no excuses, man. No excuses.
Yeah. But how can you appreciate something when you got everything?
Exactly.
How do you really appreciate something when you got everything? We didn't have all that. So guess what? Our appreciation was a little bit more.
Yeah, we was up till 3 a.m, like, oh Lord have mercy.
Yeah, and appreciation of not taking your tail home on that plane was even more appreciated.
You did not want to get promoted to fan.
Exactly. So you better learn it.
Yes, sir.
You better learn it. No days off.
Yes, sir.
So do you remember having a playbook at EKU?
Yeah, but it was.
See, that's what I'm talking about right now.
It would be like Coach Blankenship used to give us, like, I don't know, it might be like maybe 10 pages stapled together.
Yeah, that's what it was. Sheets he would give. Yeah.
We didn't have I don't remember ever getting a book. I remember Tuck Willem used to give us whatever we was putting in that day. It was usually like maybe 4 or 5 pieces of paper, front and back. Somebody had, took a ruler and made some lines, made tic-tac-toe lines. So you had maybe 9, 12 plays on a side. So one page would have, I don't know, roughly maybe 10, 20 plays front and back.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would be maybe 4, 5, 6 pages stapled together. And then over the course of time, we might have, I don't know, 10, 20 of those at the end of camp. But as far as getting a book, I don't ever remember getting a book.
Yeah, with policies and procedures and all. Man, I done put together this elaborate player's manual. It's elaborate too, with all the policies and procedures and all. And I say, hold on, man. I said, did I ever get one of these at EKU? Maybe I'm doing too much. Maybe. I need to leave them out in the woods a little bit,
Man. The only procedure we had was we went to Jack Ison University, bro. So if you ever got that look from Jack Ison, you knew you had to straighten your ass up. That was the only procedure you needed.
That was it.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Hey, in college, I started giving my guys tests. All my wide receivers, we're doing tests, tight ends, wide receiver. We are doing tests.
Yeah.
You're gonna find out what you learn, what you know. And one kid comes to us, hey, Coach Dunn, what's the answer to this? I'm like, what? Wait, hold on. This is a test now. I can't.
The answer is you're gonna be on the bench in the second quarter.
That's right. Yeah,
you ain't gonna let
down. And, that's on the bus trip down. You know what I'm saying? Like you sit there like, hold on.
Yeah,
you're supposed to be right when you turn this sucker in.
Right. Yeah. But they don't understand that. That when you get to that next level, like that stuff, it matters. It counts. Everything counts, all the way down to the player meals. Christy Jones came and spoke to the team about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, nice.
Oh man, it was fabulous. It was fabulous, and he just talked about our days with the Eagles, and afterwards, I called out his meal. I said it was a 4-piece, all legs, double mashed potatoes, double mac and cheese with 2 biscuits, and this joker looks at me like, "Are you like you remember that?" I said, "Yeah, my pockets remember that too."
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. You had to get
I'm like, you ain't just remembering players on the field. Go miss that meal you want to, mess it up you want to, and at that point we could come all the way to the plane and bring it.
Yep.
Like I was walking through the airport with KFC bags, security. I'm going to the plane to get these joker this food right here.
Oh man, they had us park. We had a place that we could park that was like right next to where the plane picked us up, so we didn't have to walk that far.
Yeah.
But I remember, we was just talking about this the other day. My rookie year was when KFC had the rotisserie chickens. And we used to get the best of rotisserie chickens. And them they had that little cheesesteak place right across from the stadium. I would always get the breakfast sandwiches over there in the morning. And then it was me and Vaughn Hebron. We used to always hit KFC and be coming out with like 5 or 6 bags of rotisserie chickens, man. Them rotisserie chickens was like crack, bro.
Yeah, God, what was that place called? The breakfast, because that first time I think eggs.
It's still there, but it's called something else now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Cross from the I don't remember.
I can't remember. It was just that little place directly, like right across the street, right on Broad Street.
Yeah.
Right on Broad. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Good time.
But good stuff, man. But I got to get up out of here because my show's starting at 10:30.
All right, my brother. All right. We
All
kept
right,
you on for a
love
long
y'all,
time,
man.
man.
Love you, MT.
Love you.
All right, Brad.
All right.
Hey, we gonna connect again, man.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Diallo. I'll be in touch, fellas.
Okay.
All right. Well, D, man, look, hey, brother, look, I kept you on longer than what you needed to be, man. I know you're a busy man. You got a lot of traveling you got to do these next couple of days. So I will be seeing you soon in Friday is when you get back up here, right?
Yeah, couple days. I thank you, man. It is, if I can talk about my journey to help somebody else out, man, you can't put a time cap on that. Hopefully it's gonna change somebody's life or, hit a light switch. So I love it. Don't get a chance to do it too often. So I love it, man. I appreciate you guys.
Well, man, the people out here appreciate you too, brother. I mean, it's a very compelling story just to see the perseverance that you have, in adversity and the obstacles that, that you had to go through. That people don't quite understand, like, what this road actually looks like. I think people don't quite understand the ins and outs of everything. And so, like you said, man, getting married, just a new bride, trying to put everything together, the traveling aspect of it, but also too just a fight.
I would love to see a documentary on free agents that really make you get the high draft picks and things like that, but there's hardly nothing out there on the free agents, so they can see that journey, and I had the luxury of learning the business from the ground up, so I knew when guys were getting cut because I understood the stages, because I went through them, so it helped me to really understand the business of what the NFL has become and what it is. But I would love for somebody to do that, because now you're into the real logistics of what this thing is. Now you really understand what a professional football player is. Let's see that other side. The ones who lock it close to the kitchen. Not the one that's up there on the top floor, not the one that's close to the kitchen. Yeah, let's get those guys' stories. So I always laugh and kid about that, man, because that's something that when we have conversations with other guys like that, like your jersey number didn't even match your travel bag and all that. Yeah, you knew you weren't gonna be there too long. Oh, your jersey, it was written in. You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole different fraternity, man, to this thing. We're all under one helmet, but there's a whole nother subside to this thing that never hardly gets told.
Oh yeah. Every journey is different for sure. Every journey is different for sure. Well, my brother, listen, man, I love you dearly. Thank you so much, man, for coming out tonight, man, and just giving the people just some of that knowledge you had. And I love just touching on every little thing as far as like inner fights or, driving others to be better than what they are from the first game. Man, I tell you what, D, This is something, man, that people got to go back over this episode to get all the good nuggets. There's a lot of them. There's absolutely a lot of them, my brother. So hopefully this ain't your last time on here, man. You got to come on here again. I know I kept you late, man. Just to tell the missus I said hello. Judge, I said, what's up? Tell I love her and the family, man.
Okay. Will do, man. I appreciate you. Love you too, man. Marcus, I thank you, big guy.
Nice meeting you, sir.
You
yes,
too.
Sir. Yes, sir. All right, D, man. Appreciate you. All right.
Good luck this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
It was good, I guess, JD.
Yeah.
Awesome stories.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, D's, he's as a head coach right now of Warner University. He's leading those guys, the right way. And, you got to commend, guys that play that know how to do it the right way. And he's a real deal. Yeah, he's a real deal. But you heard everything he's talking about as far as just a fight, being a free agent, coming to get on the field. But like I was saying, the point, they don't just put you on the field because, on the team in a 53-man roster because they like your hair or your name sounds good. They put you on because that you're a good player. You have things about you. And so what we're going to be looking for, obviously, this week is some of those guys to step up. Guys that's on the 53-man roster to step up. That not only Hollywood Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster, but Tyquan Thornton, Brownlee, Remigio, if Jaden Royals get to play, then so be it. But I think these guys can absolutely carry the torch until the other guys get back. And I mean that wholeheartedly. I was seeing a lot of people nervous and, oh my gosh, we need to go get this guy, wide receiver, this and that. And I was just like, yo, I just, it didn't really sit well with me, Marcus, kind of hearing that because it's like, that's the only two guys and that's it. Other than that, we no good. We're not going to be all right. So.
Well, that was a question we didn't get into tonight, but the Tyreek Hill stuff, I'm sure that's what you're kind of alluding to. He's throwing temper tantrums on the sideline of Miami. People suggest that he wants, it's been all summer. It's been a whole thing speculated that he wants out of Miami. They look like crap after week one. He's throwing tantrums on the sideline. People say Chiefs have injuries and suspensions. Is that something? And also too, and I think it's not just some random guy, right? We have familiarity there, right? He's been in Kansas City. We have a knack for picking up guys who've been around in Kansas City before. We're trading for them. Obviously, there would have to be a lot of salary cap gymnastics going on there in order for that to make that work. But would that be something that you'd be – I guess the question would be, is it too early to say go do that move because you want to see what you have in the young guys you're talking about right now? Or would that be something like if he's available at the right price and if they can do something with the salary there, would that be something you kick the tires on?
I just don't see us making the flips to do it. I don't see salary cap wise how we that could get something like that done. I mean, let's be realistic, man. We don't have that much money, to be thrown around. You're talking about restructuring a lot of different contracts to even get Tyreek here. And so for me, it's early right now. It is. It's early. So I do want to see what the other guys are doing here. Because the reality is Xavier Worthy is still coming back. Rashid Rice will still be coming back. So it'll get crowded soon. It's going to get crowded. I do believe we got enough to carry the torch until those guys do return. I think Xavier Worthy, if everything's looking good, dislocated shoulder, he might be out a couple of weeks. Okay? And if it is by chance you go through this game and it doesn't look like you think it is, and you're like, hey, maybe we need to think about something differently. I don't even know if you still go get him. I'll be honest, because it's still like, well, what are we going to do with the salary cap? How are we going to get somebody who's disgruntled? Glad to have Tyreek Hill back here. Sure, right. Absolutely. But is it something that's feasible? I just don't think it is. I really don't. So
yeah, it would have to be such a. I mean, just obviously seeing what people said online. A lot of people are saying, people will say salary cap doesn't mean anything. Look what the Eagles do every year. They're able to operate around that, which is obviously not true, right? You're gonna have to pay up at some point. You kick the can down the road. At some point, it's gonna catch up to you.
Yeah.
Some people said trading Juwan Taylor. Yeah, you have Jalen Moore who can step in right away. So you get rid of that contract, the money that he has there, and try to work out a deal with some draft pick attached to Juwan Taylor. Again, this is like Madden type franchise trade moves. I mean, it's not real. You don't see this kind of things happen in the NFL.
No,
not often anyway.
No, and like I said, if it was something that they could possibly do, then they would think about that. But I think they want to know exactly what they have in the room first before you start making those moves like that. Okay. And I'm not even going to say that's desperation, but I think like you really have to settle in with the guys that you got and let them prove that they cannot do it. I mean, Hollywood Brown caught 10 balls last week. Juju Smith-Schuster, how many catches did he make? And we didn't even really utilize our tight ends or our running backs like we should have. Kareem Hunt caught a few balls. That was it. Rashard Smith could come out there and catch some balls. Nico Remigio could catch some footballs. So our guys can get open. They could catch the daggone football. So
there was this tweet I wanted to show you just because I think I saw people arguing about this, this Chiefs Kingdom right now in shambles because we lost a game, which again, this is like rich people problems, right? We lose a game and everyone thinks we need to blow it up. I've seen comments that blow it up. But this was interesting. It just said that could be a need for receivers based on this. I'm just curious what you think about this. This is the separation that apparently people were kind of up in arms about, the separation aspect of the win rate with Xavier Worthy. So Xavier Worthy's win rate was 6.8%, Kelsey's 10.8%, Tyquan Thornton's 9.1%, Juju's 9.1%. It's on every route they ran. But people were saying, if you look at that versus what the Chargers did last week, that was a win rate on the other side, which is pretty glaring difference here between teams and their win rates from based on each route.
Well, it depending on what type of defense you're running too. So yeah, it looked like it was a lot of cushion. It looked like a lot of guys like going through the miscommunication, guys not being in the right place. So the win rate it's gonna bear that. It's gonna bear this, the percentages being this way. And so we were seeing guys running wide open. We were seeing guys just like fitting in. You're like, where's everybody at? Was it that they were just killing them? And no, there's guys in the wrong position. There's guys turning, looking around like who's got who. And so that matters. Not to mention, if you're not getting any type of pressures, people playing out of position, it's going to look that way. So if you even go back to this, I was like saying that Keenan Allen was running wide open. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Bad knee, Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen. Both bad knee, Keenan Allen.
55-year-old Keenan Allen.
55-year-old Keenan Allen. That doesn't look like he's been 60 for 20 years.
It's true.
So I think that's the indication of it. What routes are we running also too in ours?
Yeah.
I didn't see a lot of us running press man. I didn't see a lot of that from my defense as much. So you could take stats for whatever they are. There are context to a lot of stats.
Right.
So even so, when saying something like this, what does that mean?
I will say it does make sense because there were certain times in that game where it felt like Mahomes had all day back there and he wasn't pulling the trigger and then he was running. So when I saw these stats, I was like, okay, this does a little make more sense, right? Because there was times where he was back there. I'm like, oh man, this is beautiful. He's got all day back there to throw that rock. And then all of a sudden the stat comes out because I didn't see all 22 view at this point. And then I see these numbers. I'm like, oh, okay, that's why Mahomes was had a little bit. I was holding the ball back there a little long, and then he was taking off after a little while there. But it was that was maybe play part of it.
I didn't see us running a lot of complex routes combinations. I didn't see like when I was watching how they were stacking each other against the Chargers, and guys was clearly confused. One's running out and one's running the corner. Well, who do you have? And so if somebody don't know who they got, the guys are going to be open. Both of those guys are going to be open because it's miscommunication. So does that really make sense on saying that? What routes are we actually running? What are we doing? So I think it goes into it as well. What I'll do, I had to go in and just analyze it even more. But regardless of that, the win rate, are the guys going to give you a chance? Can they give you a shot? Is there some things you can do differently? Sure, there is. Absolutely, there is. So, and it helps out too with the whole running the football. When she was sitting there saying, "Oh, you don't even have to do play action." I'm like, well, there's context here. It's easy to say that, but the Chiefs were pressured of knowing we got to stop the run because they have a reputation of running the football. We don't. So what makes it say, why do we have to play the Chiefs honest when we know they're going to try to throw the football? So they run a whole lot of man. That's why Pat took off. It was open lanes. He could take off. Well, why throw the ball and force something when I could just run for 10 to 15 yards?
Yeah.
Honest.
Yeah.
Right? So I think, man, that, people can look at different things, man, and it like I said, stats can say a lot of different things, but it is only a part of like the truth, the context of certain things.
No, I agree. And then you talk about contextually, and Andy Reid talked about it, the game plan. He didn't really say much on it, but he said, yeah, Xavier Worthy going out, they did kind of, scrap the game plan a little bit. And then you talk about not running complex routes. You have Hollywood, who didn't practice at all didn't play at all during preseason or training camp. He's pretty much out the entire time. Taquan Thornton's still new to the system. Juju, he's the only other statesman in the room, but that's it. The other two guys really were kind of getting their bearings in this game, right? So that's why it wasn't complex. You didn't have the guys who've been there to, be involved in these routes to, make it more complex than it was.
Yeah. What was that you was looking at? What?
Do you want me to send it to you?
Send it to me. Yeah, because I want to go through. Matter of fact, I'm going to go through last year what it all looked like. Even when Xavier Worthy out there, how was the win rate?
Yeah.
Is this something offensively that we're just doing or not doing? And like you said, if part of like your game plan was to feature Xavier Worthy and Hollywood Brown, now that feature kind of goes out. You got to change everything, somewhat. But here's the thing, Marcus. Like, we had a chance to win the game.
I know. At the end of the day, we still had a shot to win it. Yeah,
we had a shot in all of this, and our defense wasn't playing that great.
Yeah.
So,
another stat that I saw. This is just an interesting one because everyone says that our running backs suck. We need to go trade for one. This was interesting, and I don't know if you saw this stat. This is another good one. So Warren Sharp of Sharp Analytics, they tweeted percentage of running back runs that gained 0 yards this weekend. Look where we were. 0% of our runs gained zero yards. Look at us. Look at that. Man, it's successful, right? I mean, I know people say, "Oh, we're not breaking 20-yard runs." Well, we're not having negative or 0 yard run plays.
Once, right? Not at all. And so that gives you hope, but it's also saying like the guys up front got to be a little bit more, more physical to open up the lanes for guys to get, to get more yards. So people pull up all different stats from a lot of different things and And what matters is like we were talking about the win column, getting the win. We had a chance and opportunity. If we had stopped them on that third down, we get the ball back, we probably go down and win the game. So,
yeah, the way the second half was shaping up, yes, it seemed like we were going to go down. We had the momentum.
We did. And Pat just wanted one more time. He just wanted one more opportunity to get the ball back, and it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So I just, you become victim to your own success. They understand that. And so if it doesn't look that way, we come out and do a great job. Guys understand that too. But guess what? They'll take the onus upon their own shoulders, man. They will. And they'll be fine. They're looking for this game. They know they got enough in that room. The question is, do you and everybody else that's out here is the question. Does everybody else out here think that? And like I said, it's either all in or all out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I just thought that stat was interesting. And, again, we went 0 for 7 on third downs in the first half. 0 for 7 on third down in the first half. I mean, you're not going to win. You would think if a genie told you, hey, you're going to lose week 1 and you're going to 0 for 7 in third downs in the first half of the game. I would think we got blown out. I would think, oh, man, I don't want to watch this game. I'm not going to want to watch it. And then you see, we almost had the ball back at the end of the game, and we probably would have scored. Or our kicker doesn't miss a PAT. It's a tie ball game, and then we're going to overtime, or we got the ball last, and we kick a field goal to win it. I mean, I wouldn't even think those are possible outcomes, but the fact that it was still a close game in the end of going 0 for 7 on third down. This is a good third down team last year. We were one of the best third down teams last year. So, I mean, nuts that's the way we started the game. And, again, the fast start that we need to kind of, eliminate those kind of lulls in the first half. I think that's the one thing I want to see us. I want to eliminate those lulls.
So I said this, okay? I was speaking on the show this past Friday, Ole Miss playing UK. And I was saying that you want teams to be under 40% to win. And we were at 35.7 on third downs. Every metric that tells you that you shouldn't win that game. And we were still in it. Even with our third downs being 35.7. That's, really. So that's atrocious. But if you're giving yourself a shot and a chance, which we did, we just got to be able to finish those things up. Like I said, things that we don't necessarily see. I mean, there's Creed dribbling the ball back, Buckner missing the extra point, and it looked like everything is like, daggone. Well,
Yeah. What wasn't bouncing our way this week?
No.
But that's okay. Week 2, it's gonna be a good one. Gonna be a good one against the Eagles. But yeah, so Friday, guys, we'll be back on here, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Get your butts in your seats. Get ready, because we're going back into the dungeon for JD's 10 keys to victory. I know you guys really want to see JD's. Like some of you guys said, you wanted his keys to victory tonight, but no. That's Friday. That's a treat for Friday, guys. That's a Friday matinee. Well, actually not matinee, but 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You get to see the dungeon. So can't wait for that. And then Tasia and I will do our bets, and JD will get to choose which one he likes.
Yep. Yes, sir. Well, with that being said, man, listen, appreciate you all coming out. I'd like to thank my brother Dialleo Burks for coming on the show, sharing his journey, but also too his knowledge and wisdom he has for football, talking about some of our guys, just the whole concept of like not even seeing their faces, but understand exactly how you get things done, how you get wins, how you carry yourself, especially a championship team and who the Chiefs are. We appreciate it so much, D, for coming out on the show. We're gonna wish you good luck, obviously, this weekend against Georgetown Tigers. So when he makes his trip up here, man, be safe on the trip coming up too, my brother. But with that being said, like Marcus said, man, Friday should be another hopping show. I'm gonna come out and spit some fire. And the thing is, a lot of it don't even have to be directed toward the guys. Might be a little bit just kind of toward the fans. Some of these guys that's out here, their knees are shaking, and I'm always just shocked. I am. I'm just shocked. Because the guys inside the building know they'll put it together. They'll gather themselves, okay, and come out here ready to play. And they know that's what they have to do. They just got to focus right back up, shore some things together, get everybody back on the same page, and they just need to go out there and go win. So what we need to do is we got to be the ones that help carry them over the finish line. We got to cheer them on. And so we can't be out here nervous and then want to get rid of everybody. Burn it all down. It's crazy. That's crazy talk. Crazy talk.
I could imagine some of these fans during the no punt days, JD. I could imagine.
Geez. Oh, my goodness. God, man. Burn it all down. Oh, okay. Really? All right. At all the wins and everything just tells you, these guys figured out. So I'm thinking really that some of these, fans, and then maybe one fair weather ones, okay, if you're not those people, I'm not talking to you. I think you really believe that the Chiefs are walking around with a rabbit's foot. Somebody said it. Somebody had a rabbit's foot and put it up their tail. I heard some pundit say that. I don't know who it was. I'm like, are you kidding? You think Chiefs had a rabbit foot on their tail the whole time? 4-leaf clovers and horseshoes over the door and all those, you know what I mean? The whole time? What about the culture of the guys that was in the room that did it? Okay. Well, y'all just keep watching. Y'all don't believe, y'all just keep watching. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, have something for them, man. But with that being said, man, I'm just gonna say bye to everybody in the room. Jason Tarbox, Gary Holland, Sasha, Demetrio Spence, Sparkle Sports Card, Optimistic James, Lonnie is in here, J Dub, Stu Sauceman. It's Stu and not Stark. Oh, it's Stu. What's up, Stu? Good to see you, my brother. Who else we on in here? I'm the Brown, Joe E, Witchy Hall, Linda Hunter. Let's see who else on here as well? Casey was here in the house. I think Will Bout Time was here as well. John, Chiefs again. I know I said Sasha. Nana Sherry was here as well. KT Lee was here. The Barbershop. Appreciate it. We had some good people in here tonight, man. MJ in the house. Laura Zingzer. Appreciated Dog Petter for the contribution, sir. Andrea Chenault as well. Pro Fan Talk all the way from Philly. Appreciate you, my brother, coming in. I know you said you're starting your show tonight. Get it out there. KC was here. Life Just Right. But it was good. John Clifford, Don Peterson, B. Dubs. Some good folks, man. Good names. General 51. Happy birthday, General 51. I think you was talking about your birthday. I seen that earlier. Happy birthday to you, my brother. Bruiser was here. Upstate New York. Appreciate it. Damani Green Beans. Lyle Smith. Brian Hong. G is in the house. Justin The Way was here as well. Let me see. Hippie Cypriot. Chiefs fan 1969. Who else we got there? I think that's about it, man. But appreciate you all. We will see you on Friday. Thank you so much. Listen, we go out here, love each other the way we're supposed to love each other. It's crazy sometimes hearing some stuff in the world. I'm going to say this. Kind of heard what happened to Charlie Kirk. And controversial figure. Guy that we disagreed probably on practically most everything, just about. But for a guy to lose his life over his views and stuff like that is tragic, and it shouldn't happen for no one. And this is where the state of the world is in. We keep forgetting that we are all on this rock. We're in this world together. We need to do a much better job of speaking to one another, life into it. There's too much division and indifference to how we feel and how we act. We got to do a much better job of that. So just want to pray for his family and all the people that's been affected. I seen another like school shooting out here. It's tragic, man, to see these things that happen. And so when I sit there and I say at the very end about loving one another, we got to do a much better job of that. It's shameful, the state of how things are. I know sports kind of gives you a pause on these things, but man, there's got to be a better way of this. People don't want to talk to one another because this and that. Shoot, everybody need to pull their heads out their own tail. They derriere. Do a much better job of this. So, that being said, Marcus, my brother, listen, love you. People, when you're out here, and you know I am a child of God, I'm thinking about the same thing about, treat people the way you want to be treated. Love others the way we're supposed to. Do a bad job of it. We got to do a much better job of those things. And even if I disagree with somebody fully, I'm still going to try to say, hey, look, what can we do to get this better? I need to talk life to you to say why these things I think that people believe in may be wrong. We could talk about it. We could get to a better place together, and we should do that. So just wanted to say that there, man. It's ridiculous, man. Ridiculous how these things go. But that's, for any loss of life or anywhere, that's anyone, whether it be the kids over there, in Gaza, all the other places. Life is valuable. It's very important. We need to think of that. We're all brothers and sisters. We're on this world. We're in this world together at this time. We need to start acting like it. So with that being said, man, take care. God bless. Mark's my brother. I love you. Love you all out there. Chiefs Kingdom. Let's do a better job, you all. Okay? Y'all take care. Be safe. We'll see y'all Friday.
See you Friday. Good night, everybody. Good night. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.